I R.I.P. to Wes Craven. I can't wait to see this new Scream movie. It's because it's going to be one of two things.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you spent all this time focusing on Barrera and Ortega, and now they're gone. So finding out how they get written out of that movie, stoked on it. But I like Radio Silence. I think Radio Silence does good work.
Yeah.
So I'm ready to see what the effects where we kind of talked about it, like with actors, with people where they're also a representation of a brand, their own personal brand. So when people get whatever they say, regardless of your political affinity or what you stand on, like I love when a movie is still committed. They could have just ended it. They could have just never done another one. And they're like, no, we have to. And now they got to write out two major characters. So I'm excited to see what they do because you're either going to ruin that legacy
Yeah.
or they're going to pull it off. Think about it. You
That's
don't go
true.
to watch Evel Knievel crash. You want to see him make the jump. But if a crash happens, you'll be glad you saw it.
Man, you'd be like, I was there. I was there.
I'll give it up
Ah,
for
man.
Doomsday. I'll give it up for Doomsday. I'm ready. I'm ready to see. I'm ready to see, you know,
Ah,
Robert Downey Jr. back in.
man.
Again, the stakes have already been set and knocked over and accomplished. So what are they going to do? What's Doctor Doom going to do?
Right. I don't know. I'm still here and there since obviously, you know, my background for comic books. Oh God, I don't know. There's so much of it that for me, it is, I just don't know. I'm not happy about him being Doctor Doom. And then you bring back Steve Rogers as Captain America. And then you bring in the X-Men. Now you have all of these stories that you have to fit into what? Are you going to make a 6-hour movie? No, you're going to make like a probably 2.5 to 3 hour movie. But it comes to, all right, let me give a little bit on this because it's frustrating. Um, so X-Men, you bring back the original X-Men. You're bringing back the original Fox X-Men, not the first class.
Marston, Famke.
Mhm. Yep. That's what you're bringing back. And then when you do your little teaser, it looks like there might be Sentinels in the background where Cyclops is on the ground and he hits his optic blast. But now for it to get to Doomsday, what do you do with them? Do you tell their story of what happened to them? Because everything looked devastated. They're older. Obviously, they made it clearly that they're older than the films. So what happened to their life? What happened with their story? Something's devastated. Why are they there? Now, Steve Rogers is back. Why is Steve Rogers back? Why is it not the old Steve Rogers? Because he went back, lived his life after the old Steve Rogers. Now you have the young Steve Rogers. What is going on in his life? He has a kid. Who is it with? Because it doesn't show who it's with. This is kind of crazy interesting. Robert Downey Jr. as Dr. Doom. What happens to Robert Downey Jr. to make him Dr. Doom? Because people are going to look at him and think that's Tony Stark. Here's the thing. They would never said his name. They just called him Doom. Is it Tony Stark as Doom or is it Victor Von Doom? There is no clear indication of it, but how's that going to be explained and go about? Why was Doom is it the same Doom that was in the Fantastic Four universe? Because they did have Latveria, there, and he wasn't there until the end. It's true. Where does it go for them bringing them into a universe with everybody else? The other strange part about it is you had Thunderbolts, and in the end of Thunderbolts, you had Fantastic Four ships showed up, but in the Fantastic Four movie, you see none of that. That has nothing to do with that. So what is the connection there? What does that mean? Is that a different Fantastic Four? What is going on in that timeline?